Being principal at Evergreen Junior High, one of the nice things was you didn't get late night calls very often. And therefore, Jerry Atlantic was a boy that had gotten into some trouble with me at school, but I'd never had any occasion to involve his parents other than, Jefferson County had that policy that you couldn't use the paddle without parent permission. So I'm sure at some early point in our acquaintance, he took home the form letter saying that it would be all right for me to use the paddle, and his parents signed it and sent it back. So I was really surprised one night. I was getting ready for bed or in bed. I can't remember just what stage the retirement process was, but phone rang. And the person on the phone identified himself as Mr. Atlantic and informed me that he wanted me to come meet him and he was going to whip me. Well, I didn't try to ask why he was going to whip me because I figured that's not what we're talking about here tonight. I said, well, I'm almost in bed or in bed, whichever it was, and I'm not coming. But I'll go down to the office early in the morning, and if you want to, come on in. I certainly slept all right. I was still in that stage of my life that I figured if we was going to have a fight, I was probably going to do my part, come out of it all right. Certainly wasn't wanting to fight anybody. Already had one peg tooth. Well, he didn't come in, and I never heard another word from him at any time. And Jerry and I, we had our ups and downs. I don't have any idea. I bet I used that paddle on him at least 3 or 4 times over a period of time. But we kind of respected each other. In fact, he was one of my favorite kids. He particularly earned my respect when he was the champion salesman when we had that magazine drive. 2 other times the phone rang late at night. And one of them really late. I don't really even know how late it was, but I was aware I'd been asleep quite a while. The young female voice I thought hear giggling in the background, and when I tried to, I was not too well organized with what I was saying, I'm sure. I'm not an easy person to wake up and deal with. Wasn't getting anywhere with the conversation, I hung up. It wasn't like that month or even as far as I can remember even that year. I got another late call like that, and again, could hear some giggling in the background. That call was even shorter. Wasn't quite as late. But I decided on the first one, and I thought the same thing on the second one. Hey, we've got girls having a sleepover somewhere, and they've gotten to daring each other to do things, and somebody's gotten to dare to call Mr. Riggs. I didn't even try to look the girls over the next day to see if I could determine who might have been the rascal that called. Kids will be kids. Certainly my own kids weren't angels, and I think from things I've heard from my grandmother and mother and some aunts and uncles, I was no angel either. In fact, maybe that's partly why I could get along so well with kids, was that they didn't do anything that was really too awfully shocking to me if you get right down to it. Kind of been there, done that. Now, there was 1 or 2 cases like the one that was talked about the worst thing ever. Never would have dreamed of such a thing as that. Anyway, kind of a dumb thing to talk about, but I wanted to kind of point out that there's a difference in how you are treated in different communities, and we were treated very, very well in the Evergreen community.